All right, so I'm gonna make this pretty quick. I don't really have much of an update. Kind of just thought, it'd be cool to make a video. I guess I'm finally to the point where I don't have like any bad news anymore, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Um, for one, um, I mainly just wanted to basically say that I have been struggling so hard on finding the phone that I want, because I've been saying that I want to get the OnePlus 13, and I am gonna get that phone. Like 90, I'm gonna say 89, no 90% out of 100 that I'm gonna get that phone. But there's just something in the back of my mind that wants to try like the S25, but I don't know. Like I want to find one brand and stick to it, kind of like the Pixels. See, the Pixels, I love the Pixels. I love the AI integration. It has literally, out of all flagships, in my opinion, the Pixel phones in general have, I guess, better AI integration, in my opinion, than all flagships. But it has the Google Tensor chip, and it doesn't have the Snapdragon 8 Elite like the OnePlus 13 and the S25 Ultra and the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, things like that. And I feel like it definitely lags. Like on my Google Pixel 7 Pro that I had, it was a great phone. Frames never dropped noticeably. Maybe it dropped from 120 to like 115, sure, but it wasn't enough to notice. And I feel like you can notice around the 100 or like high 90s. You can notice the difference between 100 and 120 for sure. And I never noticed it getting that low. I never really did benchmarks, but it was definitely laggy, and it kind of felt slow. Like the 120 hertz, I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for the 120 hertz display on the Pixel 7 Pro that I had, at least, obviously the 9 Pro is better. It's better in every way than the 7 Pro, but still, just my experience. I just felt like it lagged. Like if it wasn't for the 120 hertz on the 7 Pro, and it was just like 60 or maybe even 90, I would definitely say that it's like it would have been a bigger difference, because 120 hertz on a smartphone is so fast and snappy. It just kind of makes up for the lag in some ways. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the OnePlus 13, and I want to get the OnePlus Buds 3 Pro. So I'm gonna get the OnePlus phone, the 13. I'm gonna order it in a couple weeks, and then I'll wait for it to get here. I'm trying to figure out what color I want. I think the more popular one is the darker blue one. But I ain't gonna lie, I really like the white one. It just makes it look more premium, in my opinion. But I mean, I'm gonna have a case on it, like whatever, and I want to get a good one, so I feel like it doesn't matter. I think I might just get the white one. I don't know. I love white phones. So I'm either gonna get the white one or the blue one. Probably the white one though. I'm gonna obviously get a case. I'm gonna get the OnePlus Buds, the Pros, because I have the AirPod 4s. I've had every gen and every type of AirPod you can think of. Like I've had the wired AirPod earbuds, the regular Apple earbuds that usually come on the phones. I've had the first gen Apple AirPods. I've had Gen 2 AirPods, the AirPods Gen 3. Then I got the regular Gen 4s in my pocket as we speak. And then I've had the regular AirPods Pros. I've had the second gen Pros, and I've had everything except for the Apple the headphones, the Apple Air Max or AirPod Maxes, I believe. Yeah, AirPod Maxes. But everything else I don't have. But enough of the phones. I've just kind of wanted to come on here and let you know that I've decided on the OP13 or the OnePlus 13. I will say, I was thinking, I had my orientation today. I had this and I had that, and everything went good. And my first day is tomorrow. It sucks because I was thinking, me and Jonathan were hanging out at probably the worst not really the worst point in my life. Well, actually, it probably was for a little bit, but actually, it was the worst time for us to hang out because I didn't have what I needed. I didn't have this and I didn't have that. And now I'm going to be making more money than I've ever made, you know, back to making where, you know, at the same job where I was making the most money I've ever made. And I'm getting everything that I need, a vehicle, this and that. And it would be the perfect time. It would literally be the perfect time for us to hang out, and it would be the perfect time for us to do stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, if we were to, like I said, I said I was kind of upset. I said, you know, I would never hang out with him again. I want to go talk to him. I want to have a long, like hour or two long conversation. I know it might seem long, but it's really not. We've had a few of those type of conversations, and it didn't feel like it lasted long, but we were out there for like 2 hours talking a couple times. That's what I want to do. I want to have a long face-to-face talk. No like hatred, no like weird stuff, just genuine. Like, I want to figure him out. I want to figure out what's going on. I want to figure out why he did it again and like what the problem is. Maybe we can, I guess, reevaluate and maybe try to do that again sometime. But I'm just gonna go to work every day and do what I have to do, and I guess I'm gonna be on grind mode. And then when you know, he and Jacob both, you know, they were my best friends, you know, for a long time. I don't see the point in ghosting. I don't see the point in blocking people. I don't see the point in not being friends, you know. It's another person to rely on. And I kind of feel bad for Jacob because I feel like you know, obviously he doesn't need to be relying on me, but there were a few times where he was kind of relying on me. And I don't even know, but I want to have, and see, that's the problem with Jacob. I can't, Jacob doesn't know me anymore. Like Jacob used to. We used to be like, me and Jacob, like me and Jonathan we've hung out way more than me and Jacob has ever even came close to hanging out in overall, like, total. Because I mean, me and Jonathan would hang out, go somewhere and do something every single day. And I mean, shoot, he lived with me. We lived together, you know, for two months. So me and Jacob, though, we had a better like relationship. Like, we had a better friendship overall than what me and Jonathan had. I feel like me and Jacob used to understand each other, and there was none of this like blocking, toxic, ghosting stuff that's happened with me and Jonathan so much. It's not been none of that. It was never that, you know, when I was hanging out with Jacob. But the problem with Jacob is that I can't get him to sit down and have a conversation. I can't talk things out. I mean, you can't do that over a phone. You can't, because you don't know what the person's thinking, and it's very easy to cause, I guess, you know, thoughts and opinions that are stupid because you don't know. You know, I could sound, like, you can make a person think that you're sounding a certain type of way on the phone, like or not on like cell phone, but like, or cell phone, but not on call is what I mean, on like messaging. And you can type out words and it could sound completely different than, I guess, the way that you were intending it to sound, and someone could take it, you know, completely out of context. And that's just, I don't feel like that's good to really work things out. Like, it needs to be face to face to talk, like, what's going on, you know, like. And that's the thing with Jacob. I've never been able to do that. Like, I think maybe once, maybe one time, but I don't know. I'm probably going to send him a message because I'm just, there's no point, man. We're grown, bro. Like, we are grown. All of my, for Jacob is 20. I mean, Jacob's 20. I'm 19, going to be 20 this year. Jonathan is going to be 19 in a couple months. Obviously, we have a long way to go, but we're grown. We're not 14, 15 years old anymore. You know, this is real life stuff. We're all kind of, you know, in the same place. We're all, you know, working. We're all trying to save for this, trying to get this, trying to live life and do all this. We all have the same type of goals, you know, just to live comfortably and figure out what it is that we want to do. And I don't know. That's the thing with Jacob, is it's very hard to do that. Jonathan, it's almost impossible now. Like, Jonathan will have a conversation, but you can't have a conversation when you're blocked on everything. You can't, I mean, and I'm hoping that he's seeing these videos, because I want you to know what is going through my head. I want to know why. Like, you've already had so many friends turn their back on you. Like, you've had one person that you were, close with, like how me and Jacob were, and they completely, they ghosted you. They completely turned their back on you, and you didn't know why. That's how I feel right now. The way that Jaden did to you is exactly how I feel. I have no idea why you did it. I have no idea, it doesn't make sense. It's the same thing with you. You'll never know why somebody did it. And I'm not going to just be good with that. Like, I don't care. Like, it shouldn't be, it shouldn't be to work on yourself. Dog, you have nothing to, like, you're not in the position to even work on yourself. You have failed your permit test 6 times. You make $250 a week. You live under your dad and aunt's roof. I mean, you don't have a vehicle. You don't have, and you just bought another guitar. Like, what are you doing, dog? You need to be saving your money. This is not time to, that was when we were 17 and 18, or like 17. That was that time when you should have had a job, because I had a job when I was 17. That was the time we were going out and doing all this fun stuff. Well, you're gonna be 19 this year. I'll be 20. It's time to lock in. You don't need to be buying, Jazz Masters and new guitars and drums and this and that. Like, there's no point. I mean, you need to be focused on yourself, on getting your permit. You need to focus on getting a higher paying job so you can actually live on your own and not be living, because you cannot survive off of $250 a week. You can barely survive off of you can barely survive off of 400. I would say $400 a month in Mississippi, or $400 a week in Mississippi, where we live, is the bare minimum. And I'm going to be honest, 1,000 to 1,500, that is when you can live comfortably. That is when, like, that's, I'm back at Sunshine now. I work third shift. I don't even know if you know that. And yeah, I mean, how bad I didn't want to go back and how much I used to hate it. But I don't care anymore. I've got to do what I have to do, and I'm going to stay there as long as I can, and always have backup plans. Speaking of a car, whenever I get my next vehicle very, very soon, I'm going to start trying to save up for another vehicle in case something happens with that vehicle. Bam. Housing wise, I'm going to try to have money saved up just for like emergency funds if something were to happen. And something just happens, tornado blows the place down, okay, maybe I need a hotel, or maybe I need a temporary, like, living situation. I'll have money. That's what you need to be thinking of, instead of worrying about your feelings, because I feel like that's the problem. I feel like, and I wouldn't say, I'm not gonna not take some, blame, but that is one thing, is I'm not in my feelings worried about, oh, well, he did this to me, or he's toxic, or he did this. I'm worried. I'm focused on my life, my living situation, and you're not. If you are not showing it at all, and you need to be. You definitely need to be. But I mean, there's just some things that you have to do in life. Things that you have to prioritize before other things. And for me, it took going hungry, not eating for a couple of days, or not having $0 in my bank account for 3 months, or not 3 months, but 3 weeks to a month, scraping up, finding, cans of vegetables here and there to, make it on, drinking tap water, obviously, but still, I mean, it takes it. It's just a lesson learned, and I feel like I've learned so much in the last year, like physically, and I guess mentally, but more so financially, and just making like right choices. And I feel like you need to get out of your head. You need to get out of your feelings and stop thinking, oh, well, I'm just gonna ghost him because I just don't want to hang out, or oh, he did this to me, or he, which I don't understand anyway. Like, I don't know what I could possibly do. The only thing I'm thinking is I played on your PC, by the way, that used to be mine, by the way, that I dropped $400 off of the price tag, and I lost money on that PC because I knew you wasn't making that much. Let's not think of all the times that, the times that I took you to orientation at Sunshine, that I, did this and did that, where, and I'll never forget this one message you sent maybe a year ago, and you said, yeah, you've done all this stuff for me, you done, you did this and that, but that was your choice, bottom line. That doesn't make no sense. That's what you just typed, like what you typed in that message. That speaks for me. I don't have to say a word after that. You said that was your choice, bottom line. Exactly. My choice was to make sure my friend at the time, if I'm going to eat somewhere, I'm gonna make sure you're getting something too, so you don't have to eat ramen noodles every single day. If I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna make sure you eat. If I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna for sure ask you, hey, you want to go here? Get out the house. Instead of being stuck up in the house, it's not good for you. That was your bottom line. That was your choice, bottom line. Yeah. I mean, that is. I mean, it speaks for me. It speaks for itself. That was my choice, and I did that because that was my choice. But maybe eventually we can work it out, and I want to so bad. Like it just, like I said earlier in the video, if there was a time that we should be hanging out, if there was a perfect time, it is right now. Or like right now, within like the next couple of months. Or not couple of months, but like right now, from right now to like the end of this month. Sunshine money, you already know how that is. And you're not doing nothing better. You have no friends, but maybe a few Discord kids. You have no friends. I mean, come on, dog. I mean, we are way too grown for that. It makes no sense. It genuinely does not make any sense. But I'm going to try to reach out to Jacob, see what I can do in that situation, maybe help him out, see what he's got going on, keep updates with him, because Jacob has never blocked me, or Jacob's never really ghosted me like that. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. But whenever you decide to, just like you did when you texted me in this house saying, hey, which is best, ZZ Sounds or Sweetwater, and you just like, well, I wouldn't mind hanging out and da-da-da-da. Yeah, it's after 2 months of, you blocking. Okay, well, if you decide to do that again, I guess I'm all ears. Number one, I would love to talk. I'm not going to come hang out. And I'm not going to come over there, or you come to my place or we go somewhere, and hang out before we talk. That would be number one priority. We have to talk. And I want to see where your head's at, see what you're thinking. But if you get curious on how something's going, then yeah, just, I guess, unblock me on this and that and just hit my line. But yeah, until then, I'm just going to grind and make money. So yeah.